I actually was commissioned to write a book called Black Gene Lies some years ago, and this was at the wishes of Dr. Pastor Creflo Dollar in Atlanta, Georgia, at the World Changers Church. And I have done a lot of work in the Atlanta, Georgia area for many, many years, starting in 1991, when Andrew Young, who is one of the captains of the Civil Rights Movement with Dr. King, and Andrew Young was scheduled in 1991 to have both his knees replaced. He was scheduled for double knee replacement surgery, and his son, Bo, called me and said, "Hey, can you help my dad? I hear you're working with athletes and joint problems." Yes. So to make a long story short, went to Atlanta, set up a nutritional program with the Mighty 90 for Andy Young, the past ambassador to the United Nations for the United States, U.S. representative from Georgia and mayor of Atlanta, very well-connected political guy. And he canceled his double knee replacement surgery. I rebuilt his knees in 60 days, and we've been good friends ever since. He's been using the Mighty 90 every day since then. He just walked 5 miles. He swims 5 miles a day. And at 83 years old, he's a great guy. I can knock on his door at any time of the day or night, and we'll talk. We just are great friends. And he introduced me to Pastor Dollar, whose 11-year-old daughter had terrible asthma, was not responding to medical treatment, and using the 90 essential nutrients and changing her diet a little bit, we were able to solve her problem. She's 11 years old, not responding very well to medical treatment, and we're able to turn it around and eliminate her asthma completely, just in 2 weeks' time. Well, I also worked on Evander Holyfield's heart. After he had his near-fatal heart attack, guess what? Here's a guy came back a year later, passed all the physicals for the boxing commissions, and it's because of the Mighty 90. I want you to think about this. Theo Ratliff, great NBA player. His career was over 10 years ago. I mean, his career was over. And, of course, we rebuilt him in 90 days. He's been using our products ever since. Of course, he's had, I don't know, probably $100 million worth of contracts ever since. So we're very, very excited about all the contribution we've given to modern times for the black community. Now, the beat goes on. 6 months before her death, I spent time with Dr. King's wife, Coretta Scott King, spent 2 hours alone with her, and she told me Dr. King's wishes for the future and what we could do to further the health of the black community. And I'll just sort of regress here just a second and leave that for a moment. And it was one of the best 2 hours I've ever spent in my life to speak with somebody and actually listened almost for the 2 hours as spellbound as Coretta Scott King poured her heart out to me and told me what Dr. King was going to do after he finished up and put the last crossing the T's and dotting the I's on the civil rights movement. He was moving on to the medical system, which was a great disparity between the black community and the white community. At any rate, in this last census that came out in 2010, it's very clear that the average black man in America lives to be 62, the average white man in America lives to be 75.6, and the average Hispanic man lived to be 80.6, 18.6 years longer than the black man. Not genetic, it's simply that the Hispanics still use grandma's home remedies, and the black community overuses the medical system because they've been taught incorrectly and fraudulently that all the diseases that afflict the black community in greater percentages than the white community are because of some terrible black gene. Well, Pastor Dollar wanted me to write a book called Black Gene Lies, which I did. You can see in the acknowledgments we acknowledge Pastor Dollar and his church for funding the project. And this book goes into all the diseases that are thought to be genetic in the black community, and the medical doctors use the black community as an ATM machine. And they just tell lie after lie after lie to the black community. There's no law requiring medical doctors to cure you when there's a cure available. There's no law requiring a doctor to prevent a disease in you when there is a prevention available. And this is the basic root of the problem. This is why Dr. King was moving into the healthcare field after he finished up with the civil rights movement. His life was cut short. But Coretta Scott King, his widow, has told me before her passing, we spent 2 hours together, and she told me that was Dr. King's wish that we solve the medical problem. She says, Andrew Young and Theo Ratliff, Evander Holyfield have told me that you are a person who's been working very well with the black community in solving problems, such as diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease and getting people off a heart transplant list and getting people off of dialysis. and getting people off the kidney transplant list and so on. I said, yes, ma'am. She's okay. Then guess what? You're responsible. You got to go out there and tell the story, because obviously Dr. King isn't here, so we have to have somebody with some health knowledge to do this, and I guess you're the one. And so I've been doing this since 1991 in the black community, and again, this book, Black Gene Lies, there is a CD by the same title. It's actually Black Gene Lies 2 is the one you want to get. It's actually a condensed version of the book, Black Gene Lies. It goes into all the diseases that are thought to be genetic in the black community and tells you how to prevent them and how to reverse them using supplement programs. Well, don't forget, if you want to know who Jim Crow was, if you want to know who coined the term black gene or black is beautiful, who coined the term black is beautiful? Who was Jim Crow? If you get a hold of that book, Black Gene Lies, and I have actually won dinners from university black historians because they didn't know.